Hey guys, it's Pastor O'Toole, and I want to welcome you to day 3 of the Daily Walk. I hope that you're starting to get into somewhat of a rhythm in opening God's Word, that you're intentionally carving out some time to read and study it on your own or with some friends. That you're kind of just building the habit it takes. And that takes time, so if you're not there yet, that's okay. Let's just keep at it. So here we go. Our passage for today is Philippians chapter 1, verses 9 to 11. Once again, we're going to be using the NIV, and I encourage you to read the passage before watching the rest of this video. Personally, it's always helpful for me to take a deep breath, to slow down a little bit, to try to ease my anxious mind before I'm able to read. So I encourage you to do the same as we continue this series together. Diving right into my observation, Paul starts with what I feel like is an important declaration. This is my prayer. So whatever he's going to say will basically summarize the main thing he's asking God to do in the church in Philippi. Now, that sounds pretty important to me. I'm just going to make a bracket over here on the side that's talking about Paul's prayer equals what? Let's continue. We don't quite know yet. He says in verse 9 still, that your love would abound more and more in knowledge, insight, and discernment. So again, his main prayer is the church's love would abound. It would be full of insight. Right? That's kind of what he's hoping for here. That's what he's asking God for. But insight into what? Whatever is pure or blameless or righteous. There's my bracket over here. It seems that Paul is asking that the church's love is filled with insight into what is pure. And so really quickly, this is really just the what. This is the what of Paul's prayer. But I don't want to end without looking really quickly at also the why. This is why he has this prayer for the Philippian church. Earlier in the book, we had read about how Paul was praying for the Philippian church. So in this passage, we're able to dig a little deeper into what exactly Paul is asking of God. He's asking for wisdom and some discernment about how to live with good character, about how a disciple of Jesus Christ should live. But he ended by saying, it's not for your sake that I pray this, but so that God's glory is shown more clearly and more praise is given to his name. When I think about my own life and the pressure I often feel to be good or pure, it's often a combination of things. I don't want God to be mad at me. I don't want to be judged by other people, or I don't want to feel guilty. But Paul is saying to the Philippian church is that you should pursue righteousness, not for your sake or to make God happy, but so other people would actually be drawn to God simply by looking at your life. The way you love, the way you forgive, the way you help should be so different. People would actually wonder if the Lord that you proclaim is worth them following as well. Are there ways today that God might be calling you to love or pursue righteousness in a way that would actually encourage somebody else? Perhaps there's someone you need to forgive and literally lay down your pride and just call to say that you care about them or that you want what's best for them. Perhaps there are vulnerable people in your neighborhood that you could try to connect with. Maybe write a letter to in order to encourage them and keep them company during this time. Whatever it is, my prayer for you today is that God, through his Spirit, would give you the wisdom to discern how he's calling you to love in order to draw more people to himself.